This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. Well, we got some breaking news out of the Supreme Court, and most of you have probably heard about this by now, but for those that haven't, the Supreme Court right now is hearing oral arguments on potentially abolishing these VRA districts that, if we're being completely honest, they are only meant now to give Democrats free seats in places like Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, these very Republican states. They have to give Democrats basically free seats in the name of racial representation or some BS like that. But again, if these voters were not Democrat, if they were like even 50-50, Democrats would never give a shit. They would never care about these districts at all. But the only reason they do is because it gives them free seats. And that's what Democrats have been using for years now to gain seats in states that they have no business having any seats in, or very few of them. But they gain them because they want to, quote unquote, defend racial representation or some BS like that. But again, if these voters were not Democrat, they would never care. They would never care about these voters in Alabama or Mississippi. All right, if they voted Republican, they would never care. But they abused the living hell out of a law that, made sense back in the 1960s and 1970s for obvious reasons. Like, yeah, it made sense back then, so African Americans could actually have some kind of real representation. That made sense back then. But now, is it really necessary? No. The only reason this act is even still in effect is because Democrats, they want these seats in Alabama, in Mississippi. They want as many seats as possible in these very Republican seats or states that if it wasn't for this law, they would have never won. That's the truth of this. That's the only reason Democrats care about this. If it wasn't for that, the Democrat Party, they would have abolished this law 20, 30 years ago. They would have. But because it benefits them, they love it. And just to prove my point, look at this. Okay, America First Insight, they brought up a good point. They brought up the fact that 41% of black Democrats right now in the House of Representatives, they're currently in a plurality or majority white district. Yeah. So right now, basically half of the black Democrats in the House right now, they're not even in majority black districts. And this has been an argument for years that, the only reason that we have black Democrats in the House is because of these districts. No. Over just nearly half of black Democrats are currently in plurality white or majority white seats. And there's another 6 of them that are currently majority Hispanic seats. It's a pile of crap. And that's a serious argument that groups are making. That, you need these seats to get Democrats elected or black African Americans elected. No. That's complete horseshit. It's a bullshit theory. It's not true. It's not based on anything real. So yeah, this whole argument is false. It's BS. It's only made because of this map right here. This map right here is why Democrats, they love the VRA. Because if it wasn't for that, you can draw out like 12 Democrats in the South right now. And that's actually not pushing it. If you really wanted to, in some states, you could gain up to like 15 extra seats in the Deep South right now. This right here is why Democrats, they want the VRA protected no matter what. Because that's 15 seats right there. That's 12 seats. That's the difference between Democrats having a small majority next year or Republicans having a big majority. Now it makes sense why Democrats, they're panicking right now. Just look at G. Elliott Morris. Look at this. Now he is saying, these districts are stupid and we don't have to use them. Now the Democrat Party, for years now, they wanted, quote unquote, fair maps, which means just give as many seats to Democrats as possible. But the millisecond this bullshit law is going away, not fully going away, but at least somewhat gutted, to a point where you can't really enforce it anymore. If we get to that point, Democrats going to suddenly say, oh, districts don't matter. We should not have representation like this. We gotta go to like a proportional system or some BS like that. That's been the next copium by Democrats because they know if the VRA is abolished, they're gonna lose so many House seats, and they could lose even more in like Texas and a few other states as well. So Democrats are panicking right now. They are in a full-blown panic because they're realizing that, oh, there is a serious possibility that the Supreme Court is going to abolish parts of this. Like right here, NBC News is reporting that the way you listen to how the conservative majority is asking questions, how they're listening, it really seems like they're leaning towards, at the bare minimum, weakening this law. So you cannot have these bullshit lawsuits like in Louisiana come out of nowhere, which was absurd, and like Alabama. You like, at the bare minimum, you got to raise the bar so you can't have these bullshit lawsuits come out of nowhere. And some crooked court says, no, this seat has to be Democrat, or excuse me, has to be racially representative or some BS like that. Even though you don't have to be in a black district to win as an African American. You don't have to anymore. It's not the year 1967 where you have to be in a district like this. No. 90% of people, they don't care anymore. They're going to vote for whoever represents them the best. And by the way, the Supreme Court right now, at least the liberal side, they're currently losing their minds, especially Justice Jackson. Look at this. This was a real exchange between Jackson and the counsel for Louisiana. She said, the answer is obviously yes. You have an interest in remedying the fact of racial discrimination used this tool. Whether you go too far in your remedy is another issue, right? And she's like screaming at stuff. And they said, Your Honor, step 0 is a plaintiffs came in and said, we want another majority black district. And that's true. That's what happened here. They just pulled up and said, we want another majority black district because we said so. No proof, no evidence that they needed one. They just said, no, we feel like it. No, we feel like we need another black district to give Democrats a free seat. Or, excuse me, racially represent Louisiana better, some BS. I thought they came in and said we're not receiving equal electoral opportunity because our votes would be diluted. That's the same way as saying we want another majority black district. And Jackson said, no, it's not. Just trust me on this. The second district is a remedy that one could offer for a problem we've identified. What is she even talking about? Again, you don't have to be in a majority black district to win. It's not 1975 Alabama or whatever. This is 2025. You have a good chunk of black Democrats right now elected in majority white seats. It doesn't matter anymore. So I don't get this whole argument. And now Justice Jackson is saying this, really? It is a complete clown show. It's a circus. It's not real. Like, you can't make this up. Like, you would think it's fake, but no, this is a real thing happening in the Supreme Court right now. It's basically, oh, just trust me on this. It's literally the meme. Like, she made something up and she's saying, trust me on this. I'm the expert. Really? This screams she is panicking because she is realizing, oh, this is going to go bad. The whole case has been a disaster. You just listen to other parts. It's like, what are they talking about? Meanwhile, Louisiana, I think they're going to win. Now, do I think they're going to, abolish VRA completely? I'm not saying that, but it's looking more and more likely based on the questions that Barrett have been asking, Kavanaugh, Alito. At the bare minimum, more than likely, they're going to weaken this significantly. So you can't have this bullshit happen again where some random person could say, well, I want another black district because I said so. And win because what? Because a Democrat judge said so and you can't appeal it? That's basically what happened in Louisiana. It's a complete circus. It's a shit show. And I'm hoping the Supreme Court, they say no. There has to be a real standards here. Not just the Democratic Party wanted their seat, so they get one. No. I'm hoping they just abolish this completely because I think racial gerrymandering should be illegal for obvious reasons. Seriously, why is this a legal thing? Why? You should gerrymander based on race? I thought the whole point is everybody's equal. So, but they're not? Again, this made sense 50 years ago, 60 years ago, back in the 1960s. But in the year 2025, really? Do we really need this shit now? Of course not. You don't need it. But the only reason it's law right now is because the Democrat Party, they don't want this happening. And they know it. They know if the VRA is gutted, they're going to get absolutely hammered next year. At that point, I don't see how Democrats win the House. I don't see a pathway because already you're losing seats in Missouri, Texas, Ohio, Indiana, potentially Kansas now. And you're going to gain like 4 or 5 in what? California and maybe Utah. That's the best case scenario. And you have to like win every single competitive seat and then flip a bunch of R plus 20 seats. It's not happening. In that scenario, you're done. So yeah, right now, I think Republicans are in a good position. While Democrats, for obvious reasons, they're panicking because they're realizing that this giant scam that they've been pushing for years now, it might, keyword is might, be coming to an end very soon. Now, I don't think we're going to decision for a while, more than likely. It's going to probably be a couple months, maybe next year, we don't know. But we shall see what happens. I mean, maybe if they rule right away, that gives Republicans in the South plenty of time to redraw South Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee, Mississippi, and basically make it where Democrats, that they have nothing in the South except for the super Democrat urban cores like in Atlanta, where no matter what you do, they're going to be like 4 or 5 Democrat seats. Outside of that, they're going to have nothing. And it gives Republicans a huge advantage for next year. And if this doesn't factor in Texas, Indiana, Missouri, Ohio, other states as well, they might get in. But really, this is getting bad for Dems. Across the board, this is DEFCON 1 for them. At this point, it's over. If this goes through, they're done. They're not winning next year. If the VRA is abolished and Republicans are able to redraw all these maps, it's done. They cannot mathematically win the House for the simple fact they have to gain like 30 House seats just to counter redistricting. Like 20 or 30 House seats if they're lucky. It's like, that's not going to happen, more than likely. So, how are they going to get a House majority? I don't know. But the way that they're acting, they know it. They know this 50-year-long grift is finally coming to an end. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.